What's the intro? What's the intro again? Everyone says the same intro.
Everybody does.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good day. This is Vaughn.
I'm Ladawn.
And we are Christian Creatives.
Okay, that was weird.
You want to do it again? You want another one? What's up, everybody? This is Vaughn.
And I'm Ladawn.
And we are Christian Creatives. All right, so I'm 31 years old, just turned 31.
I'm 29.
Yep, and we actually recently got married September the 8th.
Yes, coming up on a year next month.
Yeah. God has been good to us, so we're super excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah, man. We just love life. We live life to the fullest.
Right.
With everything that we do.
Yes, we are not your traditional livers.
I like that. Yeah.
We like to actually live instead of waking up every morning and working a 9-to-5 job.
Not saying that that's wrong or bad, but we just believe that God has called us to do more with life. So if you believe that God has kept you in that space, make sure you live in that space to the best of your ability, to the fullest. So we just believe in living our life to the fullest extent that God has given it to us.
Yes, we travel, we work, we are multi-entrepreneurs, and we work for ourselves, and we live, and we make sure that we're happy while God supports us in our everyday living.
Facts.
So when I was younger, I realized that I was pretty creative because I taught myself to do hair, and I got really good at it. And, one day as a young child, I sat there and I thought to myself, and I was like, there's so many things that I know how to do. And so one of those things was hair. I knew how to double dutch at the time. I knew how to do so many things. And that's when I realized that I was creative and that I was creative.
Yeah, true. Yeah, for me, I think I finally, figured it out when I was just doing normal everyday kid stuff, and people play, "Ooh, can you do that for me?" Like I used to remember the beads? Like when people used to wear the beads, they would go to Michael's and get like the little beads. And I was hustling. I was making necklaces and beads, and then I started designing shirts and like putting the glitter on them. You remember that with the characters?
Yep.
And then honestly, I like mimicked my sibling. Like my older sister she would draw. And she was dope. So it was like, I wanted to do that too. And so everything I did, I tried to figure out to create my own lane. So for me, it was grade school.
Yeah. Same here.
Just being completely transparent, at times, my personal expectations have limited my creativity, simply for the fact that whether I set that personal expectation to be too high, or sometimes that expectation is way below the means that God has set for us. So I may set an expectation and God saying, no, I want more for you, but that expectation that I set for myself was below the means. So now I try to conform based off of my expectation, but I'm never really living up, to the fullness of what God had intended for that creativity and that creative space. Right. So I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
So we are multiple entrepreneurs. We have 3 e-commerce businesses, with one of those being
ASL.
Yep, ASL is like a learning course. Mm-hmm. We also own a recording studio. We also own a notary public business. Let's bring out the list. We own an apparel line.
Right.
We also own a fitness and health company. And am I forgetting anything? I think that's it. Yeah. But you also do things by yourself, like individually or outside of what we do together.
Yes, I have my own creative ways. He has his own creative ways.
Right.
And some of our creative ways we bring together and we do together.
Right.
So some of my creative ways are doing hair. I use my creativity to do creative styles and so forth. Also, with sign language, I like to interpret songs, and it's an outlet. It's a type of praise dance, while also communicating to a community. So that's some of my personal, my individual creative things about myself. And then
and a couple of mine, I'm a producer, but so I make tracks, I make records for many different genres of music. I'm also a musician, so I play the keys, and I'm teaching myself to play bass. So yeah, we definitely have like individual creative ways that we give ourselves time to kind of manifest in, and then we bring together the ones that God has given both of us to do together.
Okay, so some of the ways that we bring our individual creativity together and thrive off of our togetherness is by communication, for one. Facts. That's vital in any relationship, not just marriages. Communication. He knows, we learn each other. I know his strengths, he knows my strengths. I know his weaknesses, he knows mine. So if, say, we're trying to create a business with sign language, obviously I'm the one with the creativity, I'm the one with the skill, but he has promoting skills. He has an eye for good video or photography. So we bring it together. So we have our roles, even though we're a union, we come together in unity for one thing, for one creative idea. We have our roles that we play, and that's how we work together. And again, communication.
Yeah, for sure. She's absolutely right. I mean, it's definitely, it's a blessing to be able to like work with your best friend, your wife, your lover, your spouse. All like it's a blessing, but it definitely is challenging.
It's a headache.
It's
worth it.
You taking a shot at me?
No.
It is though. It is. We're gonna be honest with you guys.
It's worth it.
It's definitely worth it, but it definitely, sometimes you overlap. Like sometimes my strengths can kind of intersect with her strengths, and so we have kind of this power struggle. But then we have to remember what we're doing it for and who we're doing it for, and it's really at the end of the day not about us. And so that becomes our driving force for being able to just sit down and really just bring it all together. Because
sometimes you just have to stop, and you have to know when to stop.
True.
And just pause.
Be still.
We've had enough for today.
Yeah, very true. That's true.
Because at the end of the day, it's us that matters, and not so much a business or whatever it is that we're trying to work on. So if it's driving us apart, then it's not worth it.
It got to stop. It has to.
In the flesh, I would have to say my husband. I have to say my husband. His drive, his dedication, his loyalty, his hard work, his self-control is out of this world. And I lack in a lot of those that I named. So in the flesh, my husband is my biggest inspiration, who inspires me to do better and to be better.
She loves me.
Ultimately, my biggest inspiration is Jesus. And he is my biggest inspiration because one thing that I really admire about Jesus is that he loves unconditionally. And one thing that we lack in today's time is love for one another, for strangers, for just people, humanity. We lack that horribly. So he's a huge inspiration because we can function better as a people when we love, and it's not hard.
Very true.
So I would have to say Jesus and my husband are my biggest inspirations. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, like my wife is at the top list for you're silly for my biggest inspiration. So she's naming all these things, and that's from her perspective. But it's crazy because I think the same thing in reverse. I'm like, man, she's so patient. She's so caring. She's so loving. She's giving. She doesn't have a problem like giving her last. And these are traits that you don't even realize sometimes that you neglect. And so when you see it in your partner, it's like, wow, I really strive to be like that. I strive to be better for her because that's the least I could do considering she gave it to me, which segues me into another inspiration, like she said, which is God, because he loved us first with a type of love that we'll never be able to match. But yet we strive to do it, and we have like the perfect example, not just for the people that we love, but even the people that we don't know on the street, or that creative thing that you're doing. Like, everything about God is love and is of excellence. So in everything that we do, when it comes to being inspired, reflects on him. And so because I see him in her, I have no choice but for that to become the top inspiration as well. One of the biggest messages that that I'm attempting to convey is that hard work really does pay off. Patience, perseverance, drive, passion, all of these things that you put forth into your creative ways. And it's not always going to be easy. And I know that can be so cliche, like, but honestly, the reward is so great when God finally gives the increase, and you've been putting in those long hours, those sleepless nights, and you never gave up, even though you didn't see it, and you had no choice but to rely on him. All of those things reflect back on him. So for me, it's continuing in that hustle, continuing that drive, continue working those long hours, continue putting in that practice time, because eventually God will provide the increase.
Man. And I would have to say, for me, my ultimate message that I would like to convey is the beauty in anything that you do. So anything that you do creative. So for me, I would say the sign language and doing hair. The sign language, let me start with that. It's more than just communicating to a community. It's movement. There's beauty in the movement. And it's art, essentially. And if you see it that way, and it's trying to get people to see things in a different light than what's on the surface. So movement, communication. God communicates to us in so many different ways. So why not take on a language that, a language that I'm not familiar with? That communication in itself is beautiful to me, which is one of the reasons why I love sign language. So I would have to say that my ultimate message is to embrace the different. So everyone has something different, different hairstyles, different languages, different cultures, to embrace it and to find the beauty in them all, even though it may not relate to you, personally.
Yeah. I'm going to answer for my wife and I.
Okay.
The beach.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We can go sit on the beach and just chop it up for hours, and just like, it's like our place. We can refresh there.
We can talk to each other.
Oh my gosh, the conversations are so easy. We have church on the beach. Like, the beach is like so easy to be creative.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
It's so relaxing.
Yeah, it's so peaceful.
And, I don't know. For me, it's just such an appreciation just to hear the waves. It might sound cliche, but just to like hear it, and just to hear it, to feel it's all God's creation, and it's something that you can just sit back and just take in. It's beautiful. The movement, the everyday,
which makes creativity flow.
It just
so
flows.
Easy.
You just flow. You're just in the atmosphere. You just flow.
Oh wow. Yep.
So what I would say to a person who believes that they are not creative, I would say to them that that's not true. Your creativity can come from anything. And for you to think that means that there's things about yourself that you doubt and that you're not comfortable with. And it could be maybe because you feel you don't fit in, or maybe because it's not the norm. And that's when you realize that it's okay and actually better to not be the norm, is when you will find your creativity.
Absolutely.
So get out of that.
Yeah, I was gonna jump in right there if you don't mind. That's something that I was thinking, was that a lot of times with people who don't necessarily think that they're creative, it's usually because they're comparing it to something they see.
Yeah, something already established.
Something already established, and something God might be trying to create in them something new.
Right.
And so it doesn't make sense. They can't find it because they're trying to find what looks like something else. And it's not. They're never going to get it. So I would say to them, seek God first and look within yourself. And it will, like you said, everyone's creative. You have something in you that somebody needs to hear or somebody needs to see.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, it doesn't matter how small it is.
Right.
Because,
right.
There are a lot of small things that are so beneficial in today's time, or so many people who are played or downplayed or laughed at or talked about that we now use in our everyday lives.
True.
So don't be scared. The world can be scary, but that decision is yours if you want to be scared or not. So I say get out there,
go for it.
Be yourself and be okay being yourself, and know that being alone is not a bad thing. People are scared of being alone, and for me personally, when I was in a time where I was alone is when I learned the most about myself. So embracing being alone, and also just really trusting whatever it is that you feel or enjoy or like, and just going with it. And that's how you'll find your creativity, whether someone likes it or not. Believe me, out of all the people in the world, someone will like it.
Someone will like it.
But that's not your goal, is for them to like it. It's for you to like it. So if you would like to be a victim of our creativity.
Yeah. I like that. You can be a victim today.
You can get your hair done. You can learn American Sign Language. You can incorporate it in your ministry.
There you go.
You want to get fit and you want to get healthy.
Which, your body's a temple. You should be doing that anyway.
Take care of it.
You need nutrition plans. You need a nice little fitness plan. We got you covered.
Yes, physique.
And you know what? They might want music to listen to while they're in the gym. So we can go ahead and get them a little record produced while they're doing that too.
Because my husband's a producer. He creates music.
I create music.
From scratch.
And we create a nice space when you come to the recording studio that we own. And you can go ahead and make that track.
Yes. If you'd like to get your hair done, you can contact me via Instagram at Heads Up Styles, or on Facebook at Ladawn, LADAWN _Dashiell, DASHIELL.
If you need any kind of beats, whatever kind of production, Instagram, Vaughn _Dashiell _PFH. And if you guys are looking for any kind of fitness enhancement, nutrition enhancements, plans, programs, my company, Physique, Fitness, and Health, will get you right and tight. Instagram at Physique365. Facebook, also Physique365. And if you want some gear to go along with it, we have shirts, hats, hoodies, tanks, shorts, bathing suits. We have it all for you. PFHapparel.com. We love Jay. We love his wife, Chanel. We've been friends forever, almost 20 years. And so I'm just grateful that God brought us together. He was at my wedding. Babe, he was in our wedding, and he was in a suit, and it was all baggy and stuff. And I'm just so... we gotta clap back. Clap back. But no, God is great. God is good all the time. My final thoughts. Guys, just keep pushing, keep striving, keep driving, be creative.
You are creative.
You are creative. No matter what anyone says, you are creative.
Be yourself and follow your own light.
Your own light. I know I'm forgetting something.
We're overthinking it. That is so funny.
Jay, don't keep that. Don't keep that. Jay, I don't know. I just got brain freeze. I got scared.
This is harder than you think. Like, I don't know. You tell me about me.
You should cut that last line out. Jay, make sure you cut that last line out. Dang, you asked for that. You can't ask for that and then tell me to come pass it to me.
Another. Next.
I forgot. What is it again?
Wow. What is that?
hopefully that was like editable right before she said that last line.
Jay, that's not a good question.
It's like babe, oh my God.
I'm sorry, it's too deep for me.
I love you a little bit.
Give me a kiss.
I don't care, man. Yo, our blooper reel about to be fire.
This is recorded. Hey Jay, when you're editing, make sure you cut off Vaughn's part
Why are you yelling?
PFH. Because we're talking to Jay in the future. Isn't that awesome?
Yo, final thoughts. Jay is.
Jay Highsmith. Let me tell you
Yo,
about
let
Jay
me
Highsmith.
tell-
Let me tell you about all the Highsmiths.
No, first
okay?
of all, start
Well,
with
let
this
me tell
one
my
who
Brandon
said
and
that
Jay.
I'm wide in the chair.
He said you was
He said I was wide in the chair.
First of all, and then he just was just been mean.
I tried to tell him I'm
To
into
me.
fitness, and he said no, it's just a chair.
And I think it's out of love. I don't know.
I don't
but
know.
I don't see the creativity in that.
He's kind of
So-
creative. He's kind of creative with the way he comes up with these jokes.
He is
I don't
definitely
know.
creative with his jokes.
But no,
So
in all seriousness,
he
no.
needs to be here
Right.
to talk about his creativity and his Jones.
And it's Jones.
He needs to stand up.
But listen,
Okay.
he did. He's been standing this whole time going on us, and we're the butt of the joke. What? No, you gotta
better
keep some.
not
You
cut that out.
gotta keep some of that in there, man.
I'll keep some of it. I'll keep some of it.
All of it. I can't wait to see this.
We
I
are-
cannot wait.
Yo, this shit about to
see
be
this.
25
Run that
minutes.
back.
You know what? I'm taking this mic off. Time to go. Are you ready to go?